5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Beautiful looking Thursday morning. If you want to go play golf, what are you waiting for? Let's talk golf. If we're not going to play it, let's talk about it. Jim Beckett is in the studio. He is a PGA professional and the founder of the golf college at the Links of Spruce Creek South. And he's ready to answer your questions. If you have any questions about golf, the game of golf, maybe some of the news about golf that you hear, some of the famous golfers, et cetera, et cetera. The number here is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline, 622-9622. The show is called Let's Talk Golf, and Jim Beckett is the guy with the answers. Good morning, Jim. How you doing?
Good morning, Larry.
Nice day out there, huh? Nice day.
It is a fantastic day.
Have you ever heard the song United Breaks Guitars? Have you ever heard that song?
If I have, I probably remember the tune, but not the name.
Okay.
I'm a good remember of the product, but I'm not a good name person.
Well, it's a song that this guy wrote because he was flying on United Airlines. And when he got to his destination, his guitar came out that little chute, and it was broken in half.
I can believe that.
I mean, it was not just mild; it was gone. It was and he took pictures of it, and he made a song about it. And of course, it got a lot of publicity. So now there's another one. United loses golf clubs.
Oh, that's very frequent.
Have you heard that story?
Well, I shouldn't say that. It has happened in the past too frequent, put it that way.
So now, as a musician, if I were to show up at a gig and my guitar was broken, somebody will say, "Well, what are you crying about? Just get another guitar."
Right.
But oh, come on, this is the one I use.
Not the same.
The golf clubs is the same way, right?
Golf clubs, the same kind of personality that musical instrument has for that individual is the same thing in golf. And what's so bad is the golf industry promotes if you just spend enough for the clubs, they'll be good, and that's not necessarily so.
And Rory McIlroy, is that the guy's name?
Yes.
He's the one who had his clubs missing, but then they were eventually found, so.
Yeah, and sometimes the truly talented golfer thinks that they're 99% of their success. And anytime you use any kind of a piece of equipment of any kind, the equipment becomes very important.
Yeah.
No matter what equipment.
Yeah.
But in a performance thing like a musical instrument, it's got much more intricacies. And a lot of golfers are unaware that the golf club is a very complex piece of equipment. It looks like it's just a shaft, a head, and a grip. That's what you see. But inside that piece of equipment, and that's why I have that room, which I don't think you guys have been there since I've created the club specifications laboratory.
You had something when we were there, not the same thing?
I had part of it.
Okay.
I'll have more.
Uh-huh.
I'm such a bugaboo on equipment because I've proven to myself as I've lost my skills with age, strength, flexibility, and all those kinds of things, that I was able to maintain reasonable performance by having equipment that compensated for my lack of athleticism.
Oh, wow.
So when you have your athleticism, you assume you can hit a broom handle with a stick on it,
Have you ever tried that?
Oh, I have a lot of toys that I show that you can hit a golf ball with.
Really?
Yeah, I have a broom and I have a garbage can lid and all kinds of things.
Robin told me she ran into an old friend, and he loves playing golf, but he has developed Parkinson's disease, and he's developed the shaking hand thing. He still plays.
I have two students right now that are revamping their game that have a fairly severe case of that, and basically all we've learned to do is have them swing on the right bounce, the right move.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We'll use it as a positive.
Do they know? I mean, do they? And please don't anybody think I'm trying to make light of Parkinson's disease. No. But I mean, what you mean? There's actually a rhythm to the shaking.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, and they know it because it's them.
Well, I see. Not having it, I don't know, but I told the person, I said, since that happens anyway, let's use it as a positive rather than a negative.
Yeah, that's a good approach.
Which is my approach anyway. And so the one fellow, he says, I am playing better.
He is playing better.
He says he's playing better, and I believe what I said to him affected his mental approach much more than his physical approach.
I think that's true even for me. I mean,
see, I do that a lot.
I mean, just by not looking down at me.
Yep.
You made me feel like, okay, I can do this.
Oh, you could be a superstar if you wanted to be.
Well, yeah, but maybe I could just have fun too.
Well, Being a superstar is fun.
I guess it is.
Success does for the human being what no prescription will do. Success is a really neat word.
Put that on a T-shirt.
Yep.
So I guess to broaden the topic, if somebody has a physical handicap that's maybe new, when you were hurt in the accident that you were in, that was new at that time, and you had to take that negative and make it a positive.
Well, I was determined to do that for myself. I don't know where I get that from. I share it with all of my students. We won't allow people to use the word can't when they take a lesson. If they say you can't hit a club or something, I'll say, well, let me help you rephrase that so that we can make something good out of it. If you say you can't hit your driver or you can't putt very well or whatever they might say to me, I say, this is how I would like for you to change your thinking and rephrase your words. The current technique you're using is not achieving the success you desire.
So let's apply that to Rory McIlroy. Let's say you were with him,
Yep.
and they did not find his clubs. Would you have been able to, I guess, two things: get him another set of clubs that was as close as possible, or maybe change his mental attitude about it, or both?
What would happen is you can equate this, and I like to use references so people can kind of overview it themselves. If we have a really nice car that we saved up our money for and bought a sports car or a luxury car, whatever it might be, and we go on a trip and we're going to get a rental car, and we tell them we have the funds to get one that's kind of parallel to the one we own, and we get there and they don't have it available, so you're taking one that's smaller, less powered, not as nice, and all those kinds of things. Instead of complaining about that, adjust, modify, adapt, use.
And accept the fact that you might lose.
Well, no. See, at their skill level, even at my skill level as a local pro, I can take anybody's club, assess the length, the weight, the shaft flex, the torque, the balance of the club, the grip size, the grip texture, all those things that are important, and come up with a secondary formula that will work with that club. Now, would I want to play in a tournament with it? No. Mm-hmm. But in that lesson, in a clinic, I hit everybody's club, and I tell them, you can't be better than your club. You can't make that old car go as fast as the new car. So you want to do what you can do with the equipment you have.
Right. Do you know what, in musical instruments, and I don't get to do this that often, but I like to play a lot of them, a lot of the same ones, like a lot of different guitars, a lot of accordions, because I think if I only play one, and then I'm at a party or something, and somebody says, "Hey, can you play this one?" I'll be like so stymied because I've never touched that one.
Correct.
So is the same thing true?
Very similar to the golf club. The musical instrument, obviously, you can see and hear all those variables it has and the quality. And the golf club, it's an innate optic. It just looks like a pencil or a shovel. It's not. It has multiple moving parts. Multiple.
Really?
Yeah. They're all minute. The
but
shaft,
you know
of
them.
course, is the most obvious. The shaft bends. The golf shaft is the same exact principle as a fly swatter.
Well, you know, again, I hate to keep going back to music, but you know what I can compare that to is the guitar pick.
Absolutely.
Not the guitar, but the pick.
Yep.
It seems like the most simplest thing in the world, right? But if I have the wrong one, I can't stand it.
Correct.
I've got to have the right one.
You and that pick have to be compatible partners, or you're less than your best. Same thing in the golf club. But see, people think you're just selling then. I am selling. I'm selling better golf, more fun, lower scores.
Lower scores. Yeah.
Well, people are interested in shooting a lower score. Yeah. Men more than women. Women approach the game more as a social, physical activity, get a little bit of mild exercise, stimulate the brain, socially interact, and then, play the game.
I wonder how many people have like Parkinson's or something else, and they used to golf, but they say, I can't do it anymore, I've got Parkinson's. I wonder how many of them, if they're listening, for example, might just get that mental, just enough of a nudge to say, you know what, maybe I could play again.
We're going to start in July, which will be our grand opening for the golf college, the learning center inside with the simulator and the video and all those kinds of things. We finally acquired all the equipment. Matter of fact, Dan's helping me do it, put it together, and then take advantage of it. We're going to advertise maybe twice a month a seminar and a physical demonstration of people who have a physical handicap at no charge.
Wow!
Come and see.
Wow!
If you think it can't be done, come and see. And
does that include wheelchairs? I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a guy who does. He travels and does exhibitions in a wheelchair.
Really? Is he?
Yeah.
Does he have use of both arms?
Yeah, he has the arms. He's I think
does he
a polio
stand?
victim. No, he swivels.
Okay. Oh, so he actually sits in the wheelchair and swings the club.
Hits it magnificently.
Wow.
Yeah. We do a little demonstration on a swivel stool. You know, you want to make a turn and a pivot. So if you take a swivel stool, you can make that turn. And actually, it should be illegal because your turn's perfect. You can't move around and do it wrong.
We do have a phone call. By the way, let me invite everybody listening, if you would like to join in on the conversation, maybe you have a question, maybe it's not for yourself, maybe it's on behalf of somebody else. I'm thinking of somebody else myself right now in listening to Jim Beckett. But the phone number here is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline, 622-9622. Let's go to the phone. Good morning. Thank you for being patient with us. You're on with Jim Beckett.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Beckett.
Headphones. Hold on, let me.
Really,
there you go.
I really enjoy your program. The question I have here is this last week, one of the professional golfers, I forget who it was, had his equipment lost. The airline had lost his clubs. Do these, when they go overseas or anywhere, don't these professionals have like a backup set of clubs that can be transferred in a different way or ahead of time to the destination where they're playing?
All the smart ones do. But that don't include all of them. I'll tell you something why some of them don't. I've been doing this for a lot of years, and I have the best equipment you can buy to work on golf clubs and construct them from scratch. And it's extremely difficult to make an absolute duplicate. I would think Larry would probably say the same thing in a guitar.
Oh, yeah.
He could get it really close,
right,
but not an exact duplicate. So some of them, we humans have some frailties. Some of them feel like they're invincible. If they have that happen, sometimes they find out that their perfect golf swing from their point of view is not the only answer. And others know that it is hard to duplicate, and others have blind trust. And I believe that ones who can afford it, that's why they don't fly commercial. They join that club, NetJets, where they can buy time rather than have the interest, all the money tied up in an airplane. But they circumvent that as much as they can, and that's one way they can do it is have the clubs fly in the seat beside them, which they can do that in a NetJet.
Oh, really? Really?
Well, I know several years ago, before we had NetJets and those rental jets. A couple of Fuzzy Zeller, for an example. I know he went to Las Vegas one time and bought 2 first-class tickets, 1 seat for the bag.
Wow.
So.
Thank you, Hugh.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you had a follow-up, I'm sorry I didn't realize. But anyway, the phone lines are open if you want to call. So having a backup, see, I was thinking, because we had mentioned this in the beginning of the show, and it didn't occur to me to have a backup set. Even though it's not exactly the same, it would have been better than nothing.
Correct.
But how would you get that? I mean, how would you know that was going to be there in one piece?
Well, that's the point. They fret over that quite a bit. And the airlines, for the most part, are very diligent about that because they've been made aware of how important that is. But you can't over-control everything.
By the way, I think that's why a lot of, going back to music again, when as a touring musician, that's why they have buses. They don't even, the buses have the equipment.
Correct.
They ride the airplanes, but the buses arrive with the equipment.
Anytime you can. I don't know if there's some other ways that the guys do it, but they travel so much. And a lot of times, if they're playing a tournament and playing the following week, they've got that club in their hand that late on Sunday. So if they're going very far, they're going to have some prosperity. Let's say they're playing Las Vegas, they move and play someplace on the East Coast.
Right.
They're going to fly.
So tell me about the grand opening. What are you doing?
The grand opening is going to be, we're going to hope to have you guys there one of the days too. The grand opening is going to be because this building and the equipment we have is something that I don't have the vocabulary to explain. So it's something you need to see. So we're going to do some inducements, some free fittings, a free 30-minute, 20-minute lesson, 10-minute lesson, whatever. Do some things to get the people to come, because then they'll be our marketing people. So we're going to market it through human beings or golfers rather than through commercial marketing.
I have an idea for you.
Yeah, good.
Why don't I come down and I mean, I'm an amateur video maker, but I could make a video. You could talk into the camera and give us a tour.
I would love for that to happen.
And then we could put it on YouTube or whatever.
That's what
on the WOCA Facebook page.
That's what I'm actually looking for. I'm glad you mentioned that. It's still a little ways away, but not too early to plan. What we have is not for everybody, and nothing is, and we don't pretend it is, but we want to share this as many of our fellow golfers as possible, because the golfer is like an unorganized fraternity. We wouldn't be playing it if it was easy. It's not an easy game, and yet you can make it easy. But it takes an investment in time. It takes an investment in your money, and so those two commodities are pretty precious: time and money. So we want to share what we've learned and what we're able to impart to the golfer, so that they can increase their level of enjoyment, comfort, and the amount of quality that they can get out of it.
Okay.
And it's very difficult to explain. You've seen the simulator. We have an indoor simulator.
Yeah.
You're hitting into virtual reality. It's like going to the movies. It is so sophisticated. It's like the airlines always talk about having airplane simulators that they train in before you get the real thing. Well, this is that authentic and that good. We have video now, and video, in my opinion, has been used incorrectly for years. Teachers use the video and show the person what they're doing wrong. I don't believe in that. They don't need to be told or reinforced it's wrong. When they take a good swing, if I'm taking let's say 8 or 10, 15 swings, the one they swing the best and make the ball go the best is the only picture I let them see, because we've now implanted in their mind's eye what worked. And so now they have something to recall from their own perception to do.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
It's so much better. Yeah, it makes so much more logical sense. Telling somebody their grip's wrong or their stance is wrong or their swing's wrong, they don't need another critic. We're all our own worst critic. We don't need any more critics. We need somebody to help us understand how good we are, and everybody can be good at golf. Now, I've got people out there listening and say, oh, that guy's nuts. I promise you, everybody can be good at golf, and all you have to do is be able to walk unassisted. You need no other qualities. And I can show you how you can strike the golf ball, have it go down the fairway a reasonable distance with accuracy. Now, if there's 100 golfers out there listening, or 1,000, they're going to say, that guy's nuts. Well, why don't you come and prove me nuts? We're going to give you an incentive. If I can't get you to hit the ball better, we're going to give away a trip to Las Vegas, first-class airfare, and $1,000 spending money.
If you can't.
If we can, you must sign up for one of our programs.
Oh, okay.
To make you even better.
Okay.
So it's a gambling game. If you don't want to go to Las Vegas, we can send you to New York.
Yeah, but they could rig their failure. I mean, they could say, "Oh, I'm not as good."
They can't rig it.
No?
They can't rig the results with my equipment, because my equipment's going to say, "Did you hit it solid? Did you hit it with more velocity?" See?
So I have a question.
No, it's just a fun way of doing it for the naysayers,
and
I understand golfers' frustration. We have a hard time helping ourselves because we're in the eye of the storm. If we could get out of our body, go over someplace and watch ourselves swing, we'd fix ourselves. That's why you need a coach.
And that's what you can do with a video. So,
yeah.
So when you said earlier that it's not an easy game,
Well, it's not an easy game if you're pursuing it with such that you have no chance of being successful. The key is it's like playing the lottery. What's your chances of winning? 0 if you don't buy a ticket.
Nobody wants to play an easy game. Never. There's no easy game.
We love the challenge as human beings.
Sure.
Now it varies from person to person, but it's exhilarating, which you kind of know. You surprised yourself how good I had you hit it, and we didn't even do a lesson.
I was crediting you every time I did anything right. I was crediting you.
And you did it though.
Okay, but let me ask you this: in talent versus skill, if somebody is considered not talented at all in golf,
My favorite student.
and somebody is considered very talented, could the untalented person actually win in a game over the talented person with enough practice?
Could actually be better.
Better, okay.
Yeah, the skills person is going to stick to what they already have and probably not embellish it as well. The person that's not talented or not physically and well endowed, if they find a formula that works, they hone it. They're better, not worse.
So you've seen this? You've seen
Me, I'm living proof. I'm a certified cripple. I was told I will never, ever walk. You see, I don't walk very good when I come in here, but I walk. And I lost 50% of my flexibility. I can't stand up straight. I'm in pain constantly. Big deal. Everybody can whine.
Wow, you've got a great attitude.
Or everybody can whine. Whatever your sob story is, trust me, right around the corner, somebody got one a whole lot better.
Or worse.
Take what you got and do what you can. Mentally and physically, you will be better off. And everybody you come in contact will be better off. I am the ultimate optimist because I can prove it.
You're more motivational than some religious guests we have.
Well, I think we take too many things for granted because it's handed to us on a silver platter. We live in a society in the United States. I was able to travel the world in the military and saw some third world countries physically with my own eyes. We see it on TV and it looks really bad, but it ain't like being there and smelling it. So my experience in the service changed my entire attitude about life. We have it handed to us on a silver platter, and half of us don't even treasure it.
Don't even know, right?
No, we just take it for granted. That's not a good way. And I love the word share. I don't really do golf lessons. I share with you my experience of how good you could be. So I know I can make you better than you think you are. I did it.
Yeah, but if I wanted to go to Las Vegas, I could probably fake it, I think.
Can't fool me.
No?
No, you'd have to see the equipment. You'll see it when you come down. You can't fake the equipment.
Actually, in our visits with you, I whenever you leave for a day or two, it still resonates with me that I really want to spend more time with my son.
Absolutely.
It is so important to me, and I keep thinking this is the way to do it. I mean,
it's so precious you can't recreate it.
Right.
So you do what you can with the time and ability you have. So you just make, 30 minutes of quality time is better than 5 hours of regular time.
Oh, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
You just do what you can do.
But a golf game is about 5 hours, isn't it?
I have so many ladies that come with their husband to take couples lessons, and they'll tell me on the side, I'm really not that interested in golf, and I'm sure I can't do it, but I'm doing it because he loves it. And I'll say, okay, no problem. You don't have to like it, and I get them smiling, and I get them interested in 30 minutes.
Jim, what is your phone number?
My phone number it's the cell phone in my pocket. We'll be giving away the regular number next visit. It's 352-470-3876. If I don't answer, that's with another person that I'm sharing all this with, and I will call you back. If you don't get my call, call me again because I do want to talk with you.
All right. Well, call us if you need Jim's information repeated. Always a great visit with you, Jim. Thank you for what you do.
We ought to have 30 minutes to do this sometime.
I'm Lillian Wu. Iraq's largest refinery, a major prize in the struggle between militants and government forces.
Witnesses around the area reporting to lots of different news organizations say insurgents appear to be in control of at least some of this refinery. They also have set up checkpoints leading in and out of the entire area. The black flag of the militants also visible, hanging from several of the oil refineries, towers, and fighting between ISIS insurgents and Iraqi troops.
Fox's Connor Powell, President Obama reviewing options.
So far, President Obama is not ordering airstrikes to target those ISIS fighters in Iraq, but F-18 fighter jets are patrolling Iraqi skies.
Fox Radio's Jared Halpern in Detroit. 2 more guilty pleas